Russia has sent a 25-ton humanitarian food assistance shipment to Somalia to support vulnerable communities affected by the ongoing drought and humanitarian challenges. The delivery comes as Somalia faces a worsening hunger emergency. A new integrated food security phase classification report warns about 6 million people are experiencing crisis-level food insecurity. But some areas, including parts of Bay region, at risk of famine if conditions deteriorate further. As Somalia was facing these crises, Somaliland celebrated its independence. Here's a report.
A district in southern Somalia is at risk of famine, marking the first time any part of the country has reached such a critical level of hunger since 2022. Parts of southern Somalia could tip over into famine if humanitarian aid is not rapidly scaled up. The warnings echo findings from May 14th from 2 global food security monitors, which highlighted that one had reached a level of hunger not seen in the country since 2022. UNICEF says around 18 million would face acute food insecurity between April and June 2026, and almost 2 million were already at emergency levels of hunger. Somalia is also being hit by rising food and fuel prices linked to the crisis in the Middle East and decreases in humanitarian aid.
In Somalia today, hunger is no longer only about empty stomachs. It's about a fight for children to survive disease, displacement, and the collapse of basic services. Almost 1/3 of the population will face acute food insecurity between April and June 2026. Nearly 1.9 million people are already in emergency levels of hunger. That number has tripled in less than a year. And now famine risk has emerged in southwest Somalia if humanitarian aid cannot scale up and if drought and economic shocks worsen further, which is expected.
Somalia is also facing a multi-pronged crisis, which includes a political uncertainty as negotiations continued over electoral plans and the mandate of President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud amid disagreements between the government and opposition. Opposition leader Abdirahman Abdishakur of the Wadajir party criticized what he described as unilateral governance, calling for broader political agreement, but views on the ground were divided.
Somalia cannot achieve lasting peace or stability through centralized and unilateral politics. That's exactly what the current administration is doing.
The president has the right to lead the country to elections. Over the past 4 years, obstacles have come from the opposition.
Only 3 days remaining in the president's term. We are calling on him to hand over power. If he extends his term, it could lead to serious consequences.
Somalia currently uses an indirect electoral model, but reforms such as voter registration and a national ID system are underway as part of efforts to move toward one person, one vote elections. As Somalia scrambles with their own crises, Somaliland marked its independence anniversary on May 18th, with a military parade, official ceremonies, and renewed calls for international recognition as crowds gathered in the capital to celebrate what authorities describe as decades of peace and self-rule. A military band opened the ceremony, playing as guests, and senior military officials stood in salute on a decorated stage.
The government of Somaliland has met the requirements expected of a responsible, peaceful state with the rule of law and democracy within its recognized borders, and it maintains good relations with the international community.
Somaliland, which declared independence from Somalia in 1991 following the collapse of the central government, has since established its own institutions, currency and security forces. However, it is not internationally recognized as a sovereign state.